Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Git. Git is a version control system, but it is distributed one. I'll explain you what it is. SVN and Git both are used for the same purpose, to save code in a repository and create branches and tag it. Okay. So the main purpose is we we have versioning for entire code changes in our Git or SVN repository, where Git is a centralized repository. SVN is a centralized repository where we have one centralized server, and there only we have all the repositories. Using Tortoise or RabbitVCS client or CLI client, we check out the code from SVN repository and push the code to centralized repository. That is how it works. By now, I think you understand what SVN does, and Git is a little bit different, uh, which is a distributed version control system where you save all the repositories in your local copy. So if you if you the centralized one fails, you can have entire code copy in your machine itself. Okay, I'll explain you how it is. So first let us check again once what is version control system. It stores changes to the files and share files among users and avoid overriding changes and allows to go back to previous version. Okay, that means it stores files. Files includes all the code files, jars, vars, everything it will save. And whatever changes you made to that particular, for example, Java file, each file will be saved as a separate revision number. Okay, if something fails at one point, you can go back to that version, okay, and you can simply work on it, right? And it avoids overriding changes and shares files among the users. See, for example, if users, that means developers, are working in different geographical areas and they want to access the same code from the repository, and they want to work on their own. So it allows them to get the code, and it avoids overriding. So as we see in SVN, right, whenever you want to commit the code which is already being changed there in repository, it tells you that it is not up to date. So that instead of overriding, you will check out the code, check out the latest code from the repository and you make the changes and then you commit it. Okay, and allows to get back to previous version. As I said, if something happens, say for example, you have made 10 changes 10 times for 10 days, okay, you have made 10 commits for 10 days, and you came to know that after committing the 10th day code, the code was not working. So what you will do is you will revert that commit back to your 9th version so that it would work. Okay, that is the main purpose of any version control system. See here the difference between centralized and distributed version control system. This is very important part. I want you to understand more carefully because it would be interview questions. Okay, so centralized. Now remember that Git is a distributed version control system. And are you able to hear me? Just a minute. Yeah, okay. Everyone is able to hear me, right? Can you anyone ping if you are not able to hear me? Okay. Anyways, I hope you are able to listen. Okay. So now what happens is this is where everyone asks you about the difference between centralized and distributed version control system in your interviews. Okay, and I want you to understand so that you can perform better in your job. So centralized means all the code will be saved in a centralized version control system server. Okay, and your clients will access from that server. Client is here Tortoise SVN or RabbitVCS. Clients will check the code out to their local machines and push the code, commit the code to centralized repository. here you need to notice that all the version all the code will be saved in your centralized repository. If you see the image left side, left part of this presentation, you'll see that centralized version control system, it has three versions, and you have computer A and computer B, and it has few files. Okay, but in distributed version control system you have centralized server. Okay, you have server, but it is not centralized. We save the code in that server, and every user has the entire repository. If centralized server is not reachable, for example, something happened and it is not, we are not able to connect to this server computer, and but your entire code will be in computer A. If you don't have any update, you can get the code from computer B. Okay, but in a centralized server, centralized version control system server, if this server fails, you will lose entire code. That is the main disadvantage of the centralized server. But in distributed code, you have all the code in local machines. If the main server fails, you can simply provision a new server and push the code again back to the server. You will have all the code. You got my point? So if you have any questions, please ping me or ask me immediately so that I can explain and move ahead. Otherwise, you will not understand the latter parts. Okay? Fine. So we need to check the basics of Git, and what I'm saying is how the centralized version control system like SVN saves its files, and how Git saves. Whatever you see at the left side represents the SVN, and right side represents the Git. So there are the difference. So for example, see here in this example we have 5 versions on each side and 3 files. Okay, if you see this file A at version 1, we added file A at version number A and made some changes in version 2 and version 4. Okay, you see this delta 1 and delta 2. Normally in IT industry, delta represents a differential change. That means, for example, you created a file and you have 4 pages, 4 lines in the file, and you committed it. Okay. Later in version 2, you have added one more line. That one more line is your delta change, not the entire file. Okay. Only the difference between previous version and the current version is the delta change. Okay, remember that. Normally in meetings and other stuff, right, people say delta migration like that, but you need to understand that. Okay, fine. Now, file A created at version number 1 and it got changed. The change is delta 1, the only change. And version 5, at version 3 there is no change happened, and at version 4 there is another change. Okay, if you want to access this file, what it will do is it will read everything from version 1 and it adds the delta changes of delta 1 and delta 2, and then you will get the file. So that means all the data will not be saved at the same location, at the same time. It will be saved in different versions and it will append all the changes to the main file, and you will get the information. Okay, but in a distributed system, if you see at the right side, what it will do is at version 1 a file A will be saved, and if you make any changes to version 2, it will have all the changes, the change and the original file. Entire copy will be saved as A1. It is not delta. Okay, entire change. If you lose if you lose A, you will have everything in version 2 like A1. Okay, in the left, at the left side, if you lose file A, you cannot access any content because these two are delta 1 and delta 2 are only the changes on top of file A. If you lose file A, you will lose the content. But in distributed thing, if you lose file A, you will have everything in A1. Okay, and version number 3, there is no change happened. That means one shortcut will be created for A1 so that it will pull from the previous version. And at version 4, you make some changes, so it created A2. So it has entire file there itself in the version 4. Okay, so it will be very faster to read. In distributed version control system, you can read very faster, and in centralized version control system, it will take more time because the file, and if you have 1,000 changes to the original file, it appends all the 1,000 changes and gives you the file. Okay, so but there are pros and cons for both. Okay, as per your requirement, you will use it, and as a DevOps engineer, it is better to take backup of all the repositories so that you will lose no files or content. Okay, so normally in distributed version is less secured comparatively because everyone has entire code in his own repository. I mean, local system. For example, some person is working with laptop and he has entire repository of the code, so it is less secure. Whereas in centralized system, it is more secure because all the code is placed in a centralized repository, and each developer has some piece of code but not entire code. Okay, and distributed version control system occupies more space because everyone has to check out entire code. Okay, and it will not save any differential data, so it saves complete file each time, so it takes more disk space. Okay, so there are some pros and cons, but as per your requirement, you have to suggest uh, and use which one suits for your organization. Okay, fine. So here it is. Um in computer A, you have everything. If you want to read a file, you should read all the versions. Okay, it has its own database so that it keeps all the versions in its own database, and whenever you pull the file, it reads from version 1 to latest version. Then it gives you the file. Okay, theory parts also at this point of time you have to more concentrate on theory and practical as well, because for practicals you may not have hands-on experience, but for theory part the interview will be handled by only theory, right? But you need to have practical experience also to understand that. So I want you to practice and also read theory as much as possible to crack interviews. So this is how it happens in Git. Okay, let me summarize what we have learned in the SVN to understand this better. In SVN, what we will do is, first of all, we create trunk or branch in our Visual SVN server, and we get the, for example, I'm a developer. Okay, I got trunk URL from my DevOps engineer. That's you, and I checked out the code. When I checked out, I'll get .svn directory. Okay, here you will get .git directory for the configuration file, and it has all the information where your centralized repository is and all the other information. Okay, that is a system configuration file. You don't need to do anything with that. And then if you want to add any file, you create a file, it will not be added to that particular SVN. You have to add it. You have to right click Tortoise SVN, and then you have to add it, and then you have to commit the changes. At the same way, in Git also, what it is showing is first arrow, check the project check out the project. That means you will get the code, okay, and add some file and make some changes. It will be in staging area. Staging area means you have made the changes. You have made the changes, and those files are recognized by Git also. But you have not yet committed. Committing means pushing the code to your repository. Here, repository would be your local copy. Remember that it is not the centralized repository. In order to push to centralized repository, you have different commands, but whatever we are going to discuss today is to commit to your local repository itself. Okay, so there are three stages here. You have to pull entire code, that is check out the code from your Git repository and make the changes and put it on staging area unless you complete your work, and then commit your code. Okay, right. Then each commit in SVN, each commit will be saved as a revision number. But here it will be saved as a 40 character string SHA. Okay, SHA is a secured hash algorithm. It has a 40 digit hexadecimal number. Hexadecimal is a 16 digit numbering system, which is 0 to 1, sorry, 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay, remember that. If anyone asks you what is SHA, it is secured hash algorithm, which uses 40-bit string, sorry, 40 character string. Okay, so you have to remember which one is this. Then we will now check this one. Let me share my screen with. Let us check the practical part of Git. Okay. Okay. Everybody is able to see my screen, right? Okay. So now what you have to do is, let me check. I think I already have Git installed. Let me remove Git and install it again. This is the command to remove. I'm using Ubuntu server, Ubuntu machine. So apt-get is the repository, and now I am going to remove Git. Okay, again I'll install and show you how to install. Okay, Git is removed. Now if I type git ifnathan version, nothing shows. Okay, no such file or directory. Nothing. So what I have to do is I have to install again. This is a simple command. You can also install Git on Windows. It doesn't take much time for you. Okay, it is downloading. It takes a minute. So till now, in theory part, you guys are able to understand everything, right? Please let me know if you don't understand anything. You are free to interrupt me. Okay, fine. Now Git is installed. If I check Git version, it shows my version of the Git. It is 2.7.4. Now, first of all, what I have to do is, I'll create one directory, Git, and I'll get into Git and I'll create all my files here. so that it will be clear. Okay. First of all, what I have to do is I have to check the code out. I have to check the code out. For that, I have to use the command git init. So I I'm not checking the code out, but here I am creating a Git repository. Okay. So what it is saying, initialize the empty Git repository in home Git directory. Okay. And it has .git folder. .git folder. So let us check what we have. .git folder. .git folder contains all the configuration information. Its branches, configuration, heads, hooks, info, objects, and rifts. Okay. So if you delete this, you will not be able to do anything. Okay. So it is very important. In SVN as well, do not delete .svn directory in your this one. So let us check few commands before going ahead. So the basic command is git branch. Okay. So it lists all the branches if you have anything. Okay. So let me create one file, touch a.txt. Now I have one. So I have this. So I have to add this. I mean, add this file to my repository. Git add command is used to add this txt. Now it is added. If you check this status, this. If you don't add this, I'll tell you just a moment. I'll create one more file b.txt. Okay, I added A but not B. So if I hit git status, what it shows is in red you are able to see b.txt, right? b.txt is not added to git. That is why it is saying untracked files. Here you see untracked files. Use git add file. That is a command. Git add file name to include in what will be committed. Okay, and here I have already added A. So git remove from cache. You want to remove this or commit this. Changes to be committed. Here it is. So that is up to you. You want to remove from edition or you want to commit it. Okay. So what will happen is, now let me add b.txt to git. So git add b.txt. That means what I am trying to do is any file you create will not be recognized by Git by default. Okay, you have to add that file to Git in order to commit. After adding it to Git, it will be in staging area. Okay, so people may ask you like this, how do you put a file in staging area in Git? The simple answer is you will use git add command to put it on staging area. So now if I hit status, now these two files are in staging area. Now if I want to commit these two files to my repository, what I have to use is git commit. Git commit is the command. Git commit hyphen m. Hyphen m is for messaging. Let me tell you, there are two ways. Oh, sorry. First of all, let me check. I have to give my information. Git config hyphen list. I have not given any information, but to run this, I have to give my email address and username. Okay, so I have to configure this Git first. This is only one-time job. We don't need to worry about this. Global is for global users. User.email. Okay, user.email is um, online DevOps. Sorry, contact at onlinedevops.com. If you want to check this, in this list you got this email address here itself, right? So like the same way, you have to give your name username as well. See, all the comments will be given here itself. You see, you don't need to worry about anything. If you find this, it gives the command itself. And here also, if you want to remove that from cache, you can give this command to unstage it. Okay. Everywhere you are getting commands, suggestions, you just have to notice that. That is it. Okay. I'm giving my name. So now, git config -list. I have my name and email configured there. Okay. Now we will see. I'll try to commit it again. So when it is working now, whenever you commit this, it will be opened in a file to write a comment. So added to files. So every time you commit, right, you have to mention a specific comment where the change happened. Unless you will not understand later what changes made at that particular commit. Okay. For now, I'm changing. Say modified buffer. Yes. Okay. Now if you see git status, nothing is there because everything is committed. Let us take a branch now. Master. So after your commit, one branch will be created, that is master. In SVN structure, we have trunks, branches, and tags, right? Trunk is our main branch. Here, master is our main branch. Just terminology is different, but everything else is same. Okay. So here you need to notice that master is the main branch, like trunk in SVN, and you will create multiple branches here. So git branch is the command to use the particular one. I mean particular branch. And one more thing is here you can see the star, right? Asterisk. This asterisk indicates that where your current branch. So I'm in master branch. That is why it is indicating master. Okay. Right. One more thing we are going to discuss is let me make some changes to my files so that we can understand better. Okay. VIA. Apple is in red. Okay. I wrote something and B. Okay. The here, for example, this is line 1. This is line 1. So I made two changes. Okay. If I check git status, what it is saying is I made two changes, but I have to add it to the staging area, and then I have to commit this. Okay. So it is giving all the options here. Changes, it is saying, simply saying changes are not staged for commit. So for that you have to use the command git add. Okay. In order to discard the changes, for example, if I don't want to make any changes, if something wrong happened, I can discard the changes also. Okay. If I want to check the changes, diff.txt. Diff is a command to check what is the differences we have. Okay, from the previous version and this version. What are the differences? This plus symbol indicates that one line added. Okay, one line added. We need to notice that. So finally, I'm not committing it now. So first of all, we need to check git log. This is very important thing. Okay, This is the SHA code. This is the SHA code where we discussed earlier in the slides. So this is 40 characters SHA, right? And who is the author for that file, for that particular commit, not for the file, for particular commit, and when it is committed. Here in that commit, we gave the comment like added 2 files. This is the comment which I have given now. Okay, so do you have any doubts up to here? But there are a few more things we have to check. Okay, first let me explain you how well we can use these logs and check these logs. Then we will move ahead. Let me make another change. So we already have something here. So let me make another change so that you will get more records. Okay, git add. Oops. Yeah, git add start. Dot means everything in the current location. Okay. If you have multiple files, you have to give like dot. So all the files will be committed. Or else you need to mention the file name instead of the dot. Okay. Now you check git status. These files are staged. Now what I am going to do is git commit. Earlier when I pressed git commit, a file is opened. There I mentioned the comment. Instead of going there, I can use -m option which indicates a message, and I'll give the command here itself. Um, Modified two files. Okay. Now if I use git log, there are 2 commits. Okay, every commit has its own SHA code, which is unique for this, and it gives the author's name and date of the commit and the comment. Okay, there are few other ways of pulling these logs, which is very important. So let me explain you first how to pull logs, and then we will move ahead. Git log, and another operation is one line. Okay, hyphen oh, one line. So all the logs will be shown in only one line. It takes only first 7 letters of the SHA code. If you see this up to here, first 7 letters of the SHA code is taken, and only it is giving the comment itself, but not everything. See, for example, if you have 1,000 commits and you want to see all the commits at a time, then it will not show all the unwanted stuff, but it shows only the comment and the SHA code. Okay, and then we have other options, arguments. It's as well. Line -f1 decorate. It gives little more information. See here, it is saying head is master. So that means it says I'm in master branch. Okay, and this is the latest. Anywhere head revision is the latest revision. We have the same option in SVN as well, head revision. Yesterday I explained you, right, while merging everything. So head is the latest revision of that particular branch. Okay. And we have other options as well, like next one, global. Oh, sorry. Okay, no problem. We will check up to here. It is fine for now. Okay, and so you got my point, right? How we can check the logs and all. Okay. Now let me create one branch and see how it works. Okay. Now up to now I have only one branch. Okay. So now the same command is used to create another branch. Git branch slave one. Okay. Now I have created. Now if I check here, my slave branch is created. Now what you have to do is, you are not changing your present working directory in Linux. You have to notice this. Logically, it is switching to branch 2 in order to see that. So the command is um, git checkout slave one. Checkout is here used to switch from branch to branch. Now switch it to branch. Now if you check git branch, now this hashtag is in front of the slave one because now you are in slave one. If you see in present working directory, your present working directory is same. Okay, but it will not give any change in this present working directory, but it switches logically to slave one. Okay, give me a minute. Let me have some water. Okay, guys. So now we created a branch. Okay. Now we are in slave branch. In this branch, we have two files. Let me create one more file. One more file like this, c.txt, and let me add some content. So, for example, okay. So now I have three files here. But remember, this file C will not be in master branch. Let us check. Git checkout master. Oh, sorry. This file is here, but it is not committed yet. Let us check. Git log -one line, decorate, graph, which shows in graphical way, and okay, we'll check. See here. If you notice this, it is saying head revision is 2 in both the branches because it was not committed there, and we have not matched anything yet. Let me switch back to slave 1. Do you have any questions up to now? Please ask me. Okay, don't have any. Right. Okay. Now I'm switching back to slave one. Let me make a merge once so that you can understand better. Check out slave one. Okay. See, I'm in slave one. Now let us check git status. So I have added one file but not committed yet. Okay. Git add. I have added now. Git commit -m. -m is mandatory unless you will get another page to add comment, because without adding any comment you cannot commit it. Okay. Added file C. Right. It is committed. Now if you check git status, no branch on branch slave one, nothing to commit, work directory clean. That means you have committed everything there. Now what I'll do is I'll merge this branch back to master branch. Let us check what happens. Git checkout master. Okay, so now I'm in master branch. You need to check exactly where you are in. This is the command git branch. It shows wherever you see the asterisk in front of that, that will be master branch. Now I'm going to merge this. Let me check the logs once. So you are in master branch and modified. You have only 2 commits in master branch. Okay, actually you have not committed C. Now you see you are not able to see c.txt. Because earlier c.txt was not, earlier we saw c.txt because it was not added to any staging area in branch, uh, in that slave branch, so that it is a operating system file. That is why you were able to see that. Now it got added to particular um, I mean branch. That is why you are not able to see that unless you commit, you merge here. So for merging, you have to be in your destination branch. My destination branch is master and my source branch is slave. Okay, so I'm in destination branch. Merge. That means you can, for example, if you have two branches like slave 1 and slave 2, you want to merge slave 1 and slave 2, then you can switch to slave 1 and pull the merge the slave 2 onto slave 1. But here I am pulling all my changes back to master, so that I am in master branch and using this command merge slave 1. Okay, now what it is happening, updating this, these are the revision numbers. Okay, updating this revision to this, fast forward, one file added, this plus indicates that one is added, one file changed, one insertion. Okay, this is how you check. If you hit ls, you have this file c.txt here. Are you able to follow me? If you have any doubt, ask me. Let me summarize what we have done so far. Is we have created one master and created file A and B, and we have created a branch and we have created file C there in branch, and we merged from the branch to master branch. That is what we have done. Okay, if you check the tree structure here, okay, now let me make a change here as well, then you will find a structure here. So touch d.txt. I'm doing this in master branch. My head is master now. Okay. Then git add got everything is committed. Git commit -m added file d. If you see this, on top of the slave, I have one more structure here, right? So this is how you are working. So now I have two commits, first one and second one, and then I merged one commit from slave branch and I created one directory. Okay, now let me switch back to my slave one. Um, git checkout slave one. I'll make some more changes. So here you need to notice that D is not visible here because D is created in master branch, not in slave branch. You have not updated or merged anything. That is why it is not showing up here. Now I'm going to create file E. I'm adding it. Git add, and then I'm committing this. Git commit -m added file E. Okay. If you run this command, git log online integrative way, it should show this. Okay, these are the changes I have made so far. Okay, you got my point, how to do that. Let us check even merging this same command in, same branch. After change, we have added E now, right? Let me merge this E to my master branch. I have to give the comment here. I have already giving the existing comment itself. So it is merged. Now if you see this, these are the changes. See here, what you have done so far. In the first commit in master branch, see here, you have to notice this. This is master branch. Our head is master branch. This hashtag indicates master branch. This vertical line, you have to notice that from here to here up to top. This vertical line indicates master branch. And this asterisk, this green ball-like structure at this line, you have to notice this. This is from slave. Okay, don't get confused. It will be more clear. Let me explain you again from the scratch. Okay. In master branch, see, every star in the vertical line here indicates master branch. You have to check here. Wherever you say head is here, this head indicates master branch. Okay, this one. And this is slave branch. Now, in the master branch, first we have added two files and we modified two files, and then we have created C and merged, right? Before that there was no change in master, that is why it didn't show in branching structure. Okay, later we have added D in master branch because star is in the vertical line here itself. Don't stick to vertical line. In this example it is vertical line. Okay. So that depends on how you merge the branches. Okay. Now it is vertical line because the head is in vertical line. The head hashtag is in vertical line. Okay. Now this change is done in our master branch, and file is created in slave branch. Okay. And again, this is the merge, the final one. So now it is saying that you created a branch at revision 3. Okay. And you have made one change, and then you have merged it back. Okay. So this is how you merge it. Tomorrow also we will discuss a few more things in how to merge and how to rebase everything. Okay. For now, what I want you to do is uh, install Git in your system. If you don't have Linux machine, please install VirtualBox as I said, and install Ubuntu operating system, Ubuntu or Red Hat, whichever you like, and install Git and practice the commands which we have done so far. Okay, so that you can understand how to create this stuff. Is that clear, or do you have any doubts up to now? Git is a little bit confusing because it is entirely it is a command line interface. So, but you have to understand the main concept behind this. We are doing nothing, but we are just installing it, and we have installed it. We have configured with email address and username, and we have created master branch by adding files and committing it. Okay, first of all we have to create one file and then add it to Git, and then we are committing, nothing else. And we have created branches. We have checked how to switch from branch to branch and how to merge. Okay, you need to understand first these things, and then we will go a little bit deeper in tomorrow's class, so that you have to understand everything. Okay, so please do practice so that you will understand by yourself. Okay. If you have any doubts up to now, please ask me so that we can finish this session for today.